Husky 2G CAN Bus training, assembly presentation. Assembly checklist, not applicable to all configurations. Again, if you receive your vehicle already assembled, this will not apply to you. However, if it is containerized, please review this presentation. Objectives, at the conclusion of this class, with required documentation and equipment, you will assemble the Husky 2G CAN Bus. General safety tips, place containers and support rails on a hard level surface. After opening the container doors, allow at least 1/2 hour to pass per container to allow preservation vapors to vent. Wear necessary safety equipment. Be careful sharp edges on frames and rails. Before pulling skeletal frame out onto the rails, ensure they are properly aligned, locked, and flush with the container, and that each rail is supported on 10 wooden blocks. Ensure that all personnel, support equipment, and any foreign objects are cleared from the rail before pulling frames out. Before lifting or lowering components, make sure that the mounting brackets, nuts, and bolts are removed and stored in a safe place. You need to make sure that they're out of the area. Don't put them back in the container. Don't put them under the rails or the frame or anything. Move them to the side of the containers. Stand clear when the components are lifted or lowered from the skeletal frame. Note that the external support rails are 4-man lifts and the cross members are 2-man lifts. Use lifting lugs provided, painted red, on the components to lift or lower from the frame by using the correct lifting slings. So each of the vehicles, modules, and red pack will have red lifting eyes painted on them. Ensure the crane capacity is correct when lifting or lowering the components. Do not attempt to lift any components with the skeletal frame still attached. Unbolt all components before lifting them. Do not use the nuts and bolts supplied with the frames on the vehicle. All the hardware that is used for the skeletal frame, rails, and cross members and everything are for those only. Do not try to put those on the vehicle. Do not stand under a suspended load. Anytime a load is lifted, stand clear of that load. Do not stand between the vehicle and the vehicle hull or red pack when installing front or rear wheel modules. Don't stand in between the two components. You could become pinned. Warning, harmful material. Take necessary safety precautions to avoid coming in contact with preservation chemicals. In the event the skin or eyes become exposed to chemicals or chemical vapors induces breathing problems, immediately evacuate and perform corrective measures. Once you open those containers, there is a possibility that the preservation material inside there will create the vapors. Ensure you open them and let those containers air out before proceeding. Visual check and inspect criteria. Confirm that the fasteners securing the equipment to skeletal frames are secure and not damaged. Check the tie-down straps are still properly securing the equipment. Note if any equipment shows signs of movement from its original position. If anything has shifted, you need to make sure that you check that. Look for any possible damage to the equipment that could have occurred from the equipment becoming unsecured. Check for parts that are loose from the original securing position. Check for any major signs of engine, transmission, gear oil, or coolant leaks. Look for any types of leaks on the floor. The floor of the container is wooden. You will be able to see any types of leaks on there. Make note of that. Check for any parts that may be on the floor of the container. Confirm the preservation wraps are intact. Site preparation and positioning. Surface of the site must be hard and level. Place containers in an area with at least 30 meters from the first container to the last container. 30 meters in between the edges of these containers. Ensure there are 2 meters between each container. In between each one of the containers, ensure there are 2 meters. That allows you to open the doors and secure them. Arrange the containers in order according to the TV. Container A is the vehicle hull and red pack. Container B and C is the front and rear wheel modules. Support gear and accessories. In all 3 of the containers, you'll have 40 wooden blocks. External support rails located in containers B and C. So your rails you use to pull the skeletal frames out are in containers B and C. Turnbuckles, chains, shackles, and so forth are located in the red pack, which is a container A. Your turfer winch and safety hook located in the red pack. This winch is used to pull the skeletal frames out onto the rails. And then all tools necessary for assembly are located in the red pack. Again, the red pack is in container A. Inside the red pack, your toolbox, you'll need 2 of each of these wrenches, a 36 mil, a 30 mil, a 24 mil, 19, a 17, and a 13 millimeter. Again, those are in the red pack toolbox. You also need 2 side cutters for cutting tie-down straps, pneumatic tools, and your 2 C-clamps. For the assembly, you'll need the lifting assets, an overhead crane with a safe working load of 25 tons or more. Again, 25 tons or more. Nylon webbing slings, 2 meters long, and a 100 kilogram lifting capacity. 2 sets of double adjustable chains, 3.5 meters long, and a 3,000 kilogram lifting capacity. Warning: improperly lifting or carrying heavy equipment can result in serious injury or death. Maximum weight that one person can lift is 37 pounds. Anything over 37 pounds, it either needs to have additional personnel to lift it or use a lifting device. Pre-assembly tasks: remove all retaining bolts from the frame. Again, anything that's bolted to the skeletal frame, remove it. Remove tire and wheel assemblies from the frame. Remove the lug nuts from axle hubs. Remove clamp block, nuts, and bolts. Remove handrail from rear wheel module. Remove detection panels from rear wheel module. You're going to cage the rear brakes on the rear wheel module. Stage all your equipment and tools for use on assembly. Pre-stage everything so that way you're not looking around for stuff. And then finally, you're going to remove all preservation materials. As you can see here, our detector panels are attached to a wooden skid that is zip tied or tie down strapped to the rear wheel module. Each one of the wheel assemblies has a cross member that goes through and it's bolted to the skeletal frame. You're going to want to remove every one of these items. Unpacking containers B and C. You're going to want to unpack those first. You're going to attach the lifting sling to a crane and then attach it to the wheel module. Lift the wheel module off the frame and then attach the tires. Ensure CTIS is properly aligned. On your wheel assembly, there will be a seal. You'll want to cut the zip tie that's holding that seal, and you'll place that inside the hub and then install your tire. Properly align it with the CTIS. At that time, you're going to hand tighten all lug nuts on the wheel. Then, using your impact wrench from the red pack, tighten lug nuts to 350 foot-pounds using the correct tightening pattern. Then you're going to connect the steering lock. Unpacking container A. Attach the lifting slings to the crane and then attach the hull lifting points. Again, all the hull lifting points are red. Lift the hull and move it into position between the front and rear wheel modules. You'll attach the front wheel module, then attach the rear wheel module. You're going to tighten all clamp block bolts to ensure an even gap from top to bottom. This is your clamp block. At this time, you can use your C-clamp to help secure your clamp block in place. The bolt will come in and add your lock nut. The gap you're talking about is the gap at the top of the module pin and the bottom of the module pin. You're going to want to make sure that there is an even gap across that. Do not tighten it down all the way. Again, an even gap from top to bottom. Completing assembly of the vehicle. You're going to unbolt the roof from the hood, attach a sling to the roof, and align roof into place on top of the cab. Ensure all AC and heater lines are clear before lowering your roof. Attach roof to the top of the cab. Attach the handrail to the rear wheel module. You're going to connect all front wheel module electrical connectors. Open rear stowage box and connect all pneumatic and electrical connectors. Connect front and rear wheel module hydraulic connectors. Attach CTIS lines on front and rear of vehicle. Uncage the brakes on the rear wheel module. You're going to turn the toe pencil around in the deployed position. Route all ink marking hoses on vehicle. You'll bolt the panel assemblies, your detector panels, and connect all electrical and ink marking hoses. Check all vehicle and wheel module fluids, and then connect the vehicle batteries. As you see here, we're connecting vehicle batteries. You have your rear step located on your rear bumper. And then your toe pencil, in the stowed position, this toe pencil will actually be on the inside of that rear bumper. You're going to want to remove it and turn it around this way and connect your pneumatic cylinder. Assembling the red pack. Attach the sling to the crane and then attach it to the red pack. Lift the red pack off the frame and move it in between the front and rear wheel modules. Attach the front and rear wheel modules. Tighten all clamp locks to ensure an even gap from top to bottom. Again, using your C-clamp. You're going to add your bolt and your lock nut, and then you're going to tighten from the top of where the clamp block goes. It's going to be an even gap from top to the bottom. Again, do not tighten them all the way, even gap. You're then going to uncage the brakes on the rear wheel module, turn the toe panel out of the stowage position just like you did on the vehicle, attach the rear step, and you're going to attach the handrail to the rear wheel module. That's the end of the task. Refer to the Husky 2G suite of manuals for additional information and procedures.